Go. Hey guys, it's Ryan here from Midwest Metal Promotions, and I'm sitting here with Nick of Cardijum.
Hello.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. For very, very early on a Saturday morning. Okay. And what do you do in this band?
I play bass. So yeah, I'm the bassist and hype man, I guess.
Nice. All right. Every band needs one. Every band needs one. Um, okay. So before we get into anything heavy, I like to do what I call two firsts. And the first of those firsts is, what was the first album you purchased with your own money?
Ooh, the first album that I purchased. Man, I don't even remember. I think it was one of the used albums. I'm not even sure which one. I know I was still in I was still in middle school, I'm pretty sure. I think I was in like 8th or ninth grade actually, but I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was one of the used albums though.
Cool, cool. Yeah, that shows our age. My first was Motley Crue's Theater of Pain. So,
Oh, wow.
um, and then what was the first concert you attended?
The first concert I attended was actually I think it was your memorial. We used to have shows. I grew up in a town called Ellsworth, Wisconsin, and they had a city hall in the town over that was called Bay City, Wisconsin. It was literally was unincorporated, maybe 200 people. Um, and a guy named Rico Roman. I went to high school with him. He's like a videographer or whatever, and he used to put on shows at this place. And he used to have bands like Your Memorial, Terraform back when they were Our Judgment, and For All Those Sleeping before they were, got signed and got all big and famous and whatnot. But yeah, it was Your Memorial, and I was probably around the same age that I bought the first album. So
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I gotta love like small town shows like that. They're just so much fun.
oh, there.
Uh, okay, so tell me the history of this band. How did it start? You know.
So I played for another project up until roughly, I want to say last September, actually around this time of year. I just wasn't happy with the direction that it was going. So I would just was kind of like, we're not playing shows. We're literally playing like once every 6 months, and we're only playing in Minnesota. That's not progressive at all. Like, we're not doing anything. Yes, they're on big shows, but it just wasn't working for me. I want to tour. I wanted to get out. Of course, yeah, look how that panned out with COVID. But so I just kind of was searching for something more in the music world. So I decided to start Cardijum, which I started in October. Actually, our EP that comes out next month, October 10th, is being released on the date that I quote unquote started Cardijum. So it's the 1 year mark for us. But yeah, that's pretty much the history. We haven't been able to play a show yet or anything, so we're still pretty new.
And then how did you find the other guys? Was it like a Craigslist thing or Facebook thing or?
Once I started writing music, I actually he's no longer in the band. Like, things have kind of been really hard on some members. We've already had some member change ups just because of money wise or whatever, which is understandable. Like I said, with the
Mhm.
COVID. But a guy that I started it with, I actually used to work at a shop with his girlfriend, and we actually used to be roommates. So I just kind of put it out there to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll send you some video of me playing guitar." And I was like, "Cool." So very much from that day, we just started writing music, and then we found a vocalist. And like I said, we've had a couple member change ups just due to like money reasons with COVID and whatnot, and they just wanted to go a different direction or something. But that's pretty much how it got started. Finding members was relatively easy. And then as far as the drummer go, we kind of hire a session drummer right now. So
Okay. Okay. um, so so what are your influences, either musically or personally, or?
um, my musical, like I guess it just depends on the mood I'm in, really.
Mhm.
As far as heavy music, I would say bands obviously that I started out on were like, stuff like Whitechapel, Oceano, um, bands like that, or like Cattle Decapitation. Um, but really, as far as musical influence, some of the musical influence that I take from when I'm even writing heavy music, it could be something like the midnight or synthwave or anything. It could be literally anything. It could be hip hop. It just kind of depends on what my mood is. I don't really listen to like metal or heavier music when I write. So, um, but yeah, as far as influence, I would say that the first bands that I kind of started listening to, like Oceano, Whitechapel, stuff like that.
Cool, cool. And I agree. I mean, it's like inspiration can come from anywhere and should come from anywhere.
Hmm.
Like I've run into people that only listen to metal or only listen to these three bands, and I'm just like, and you call yourself a music fan? How? Like
Yeah,
that doesn't. I mean, I grew up the son of a musician who played in a top 40 band, so I got exposed to everything.
nice,
So you know,
Brad.
um,
I listen to country even like I listen to all sorts of music. So,
hey, some really old country is some of the best stuff, man.
oh yeah, most definitely.
Newer stuff, but
Agreed.
um, so you haven't played any shows with this band. So in your past bands, the one that only played every 6 months, who were you doing shows with?
We played a show with Enterprise Earth when they came through with uh Rings of Saturn. We did like a 2 or 3 day run with them actually. Um, so that was pretty cool. Like I was Brand of Sacrifice, Angel Maker, Rings of Saturn, and Enterprise Earth, and then we opened for them. Um, but we played with them, and then we played Summer Slaughter last summer too, which was fun. That had like Cattle Decap headlining it, which was super super cool because I absolutely love Cattle Decap. Had Lorna Shore on it, Brand of Sacrifice, a bunch of really awesome bands that I've looked up to. Rivers of Nile was on it. They're such an amazing band. I absolutely love listening to them on record and live. Even like them playing live is a million times better than on record too. It's one of those bands for me that I just like get super hyped to see as Rivers of Nile. They've come a long way too, and it's awesome to see. So, but yeah, those are some of the bands I played with. I back when I first started in music, like playing. I used to play for a band called 6 Feet of Silence. Um, we played with I Declare War and I think oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the name. It was Molotov Solution. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite bands. I can't even remember the freaking name. But yeah, Molotov Solution. So yeah, I mean, those are the ones that really stick out. So.
Okay, cool. So how long have you been in the St. Cloud area?
I just moved to St. Cloud as of like January, I want to say. Um,
Okay.
I'm a body piercer and modification artist by trade, and I just for pretty much up until last August, I spent the past like 6 years traveling all over the place, just going from place to place doing work there. So
Okay,
guess
cool.
they call it. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm jealous of people that do that kind of stuff because I've been in an office job for the last 20 years. So I'm just like,
So yeah,
I'm jealous of people that have a more creative outlet and can kind of like, spread their wings a little bit.
It was super fun. A lot of people don't like the driving aspect, and I think that's like my favorite part is the driving aspect, just because you get to see so much stuff.
Hmm.
You know, driving through the mountains or driving through wherever, you know, most people would be like, this is so boring. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, this is beauty. But yeah,
So where was the favorite place that you
ooh,
wound up at?
that's a really tough one. I would probably say either the mountains in Colorado are absolutely beautiful, but going out and like going hiking in the Carolinas is absolutely amazing too. I always said that I've only been to, or I've only not been to one state, and that's been Oregon. So besides that, not seeing that, I always said if I was going to move somewhere, it was going to be North Carolina, just because it's so beautiful there. Um, there's hands down, just yeah, I'd say North Carolina.
I've never been. I have been to Oregon though, and Oregon is pretty epic.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely
if you get the chance,
yeah, it's
I
definitely
mean, obviously, you know,
right.
none of this is. Um, so did you once you moved to St. Cloud? Did you go to any shows like at the red carpet or the Keller or anything?
Did yeah. At the Keller, there's been a few of them that I went to. There was one that I don't really. It wasn't like bands that I knew of. I just kind of stumbled upon it and was like, "Hey, I'll check this out. Cool." Um, and then the one that I really remember that was super cool was My North was headlining it. Willie, I'm pretty good friends with Willie. I love that dude to death. But yeah, My North was headlining that, and I believe it was Terraform and In Search of Solace were on it too. So yeah, there's been a couple shows that I've been to at the Keller that were really cool. It's like it's amazing to see that place too, because it's smaller and it's a little bar with a tiny stage, but it rocks, you know. Like you have that intimacy between the bands and the crowd, and it's perfect down there. I absolutely love the Keller.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about the Keller. I've never been. I've been to the red carpet once,
Mhm.
which is a gorgeous room, but it's like there's something about those little like there's a bar in the city called the Terminal.
Yep.
Um, if you've been, you understand. It's a crappy little shit bar, but I absolutely love
Yeah, yeah,
it.
those are the best. Like I said, there's that level of intimacy that's there that you have with, you know, if you're either playing it or you're being, you know, a spectator, it's just that vibe that is there that's absolutely amazing.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I hope to get to play a show at the Keller someday. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so do you make it down to the cities much or?
Yeah, I used to actually used to live in Minneapolis before I moved up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've been to a ton of booze. I've been to a ton of shows at. Well, I haven't been to it, but lately, obviously. But the whiskey, I don't know if that's still there. I heard that it wasn't there anymore. I'm not.
It's under new management, I believe. It's reopened, and I've been to a couple shows there. I've played a couple shows there, but it's still open, but it's not quite the same. You know?
But I mean, like, cause yeah, I went to recently as of pre-COVID, like just before pre-COVID. But since we've had like all the stuff happening in Minneapolis, I'd heard that it was damaged and wasn't going to be functioning anymore, along with the caboose. I'm not sure if that's true. I haven't seen or heard anything really about it other than that.
Oh,
Um,
that I don't know. That I don't know.
yeah, but yeah, the whiskey, the caboose. Obviously, we played there last year for Summer Slaughter last summer. Um, I think it's called the Nomad.
The Nomad is now part Wolf.
Yeah, part Wolf, part Wolf.
Yeah.
Yep, that's just kind of down the way
Hmm.
from Caboose and stuff like that. Yep, I've been there. Terminal. Gosh, back in the day, it's by the by the college. It used to be called the Space. It's I'm trying to think where it's at. It's you know where the Concordia, I think it's Concordia College, like football field sort of is.
I think so. Yeah.
Off of 94.
Yeah.
So there used to be a small building that was there, and Bobby Olson used to run a bunch of shows there. But it was like it was a cool venue to play at, but God, it was so bad because there was like a flight of stairs, but it was like 50 stairs. And there was no other way of getting your gear in. There was no elevator, there was no nothing. So back then, before we switched over to a rack system, which is still decently heavy if you have to lug it up some stairs, but being a bassist with an 8x10 amp peg, you built some muscle.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So any local favorite bands that stick out?
Ooh,
Which is the toughest question I will ask, I swear.
yeah, because honestly, like from like 2011 until I took kind of like I still played music, but I wasn't in a band for probably like 8 years. Seeing the talent back then compared to now is like insane. Like there's so many good local bands now. But Inflict is definitely one of my favorites. I love Derek. He's Hype Train Central. It's amazing. I love it so much. Who else here? Our Common Collapse. They're super, super good. All That We See is really good. By the Thousands, they're local, but they're bigger now. But yeah, By the Thousands, My North, they, like I said before, they absolutely slap. Terraform is, I think they're Minnesota now, because I've known Jake since he was in Our Judgment when they lived in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So, and then he kind of started it from that. So, but yeah, Terraform. There's so many good local bands right now. It's baffling. Neckrung, they're super good. There's plenty of others that I could mention. I'm just not thinking properly right now.
Yeah, that is A, that's a problem with that question because your mind goes blank.
Yeah.
And B, as you said, the amount of talent in this area, and not even in the heavy world, but like across the board, is just insane. It's just nuts.
Yeah. Minneapolis area especially just like breeds amazing musicians. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. So okay, let's change gears. And we'll do some like rapid fire. What is your favorite movie?
Pick one because I love movies. True Romance, I think, is probably one of my favorites. Yeah, I'd say like tie between probably True Romance and we'll just go with True Romance.
Fair enough. What was the last book you read?
Last book I read was probably, I'm pretty sure it was The Hobbit. I absolutely love The Lord of the Rings and anything that has to do with it, as well as Harry Potter. I know, super original, but yeah, the last book I read was definitely The Hobbit.
Okay. Okay, dinner for 5. If you could invite 5 people to a dinner, dead or alive, across the board, go.
Jim Morrison for sure, just due to the fact that like I'd love to pick his brain, but at the same time, for some reason I want to see I would want to see if I'd be annoyed by him or intrigued by him. He just seems like the type of person that you could be very easily annoyed by. Just like how Val Kilmer portrayed him in the movie and reading everything about him. Like he just seems like the type of person you'd want to smack, but also pick their brain. Who else? I got 4 more to go. Man, this is a really tough one. This is probably the toughest question because there's a lot of people that I would like to sit down with and pick their brain. If they found out who it was, Jack the Ripper, just because I want to see how that dude or woman, guy, I don't know which they found out or thought that it was, but I'd like to see how that person ticks for sure. Jimi Hendrix. I got 2 more, right?
Mm-hmm.
JFK. I'd like to sit down with that person if they were alive. I definitely would. JFK. And then I'm not sure. I'm not sure the other one. Probably like Adam Warren from Oceano. He's very passionate and about literally everything that he does. Like his first step in the morning is like derived from passion, and it's like absolutely incredible to see. So he'd definitely be somebody that I'd like to sit down with at a dinner for 5. Where we would go, I have no idea, but
that is a very, very interesting table. I mean, just and I agree what you say about Jim Morrison. Like when I first, one of the first books I read was "No One Here Gets Out Alive," the Jim Morrison biography, and like you, I was just fascinated by the man. And I'm like, if I could do like 1966 Jim Morrison, you could have a good conversation. It'd be interesting. If you're doing like 1969 Jim Morrison, you know.
there's just like it was just nuts to see because like one, he obviously had a brain on him that was like way out there, especially I mean even today's time it's still out there, but there was almost like that point, like you said, from 66 to 69 where there was such a disconnect. And I think that was just because he had so much shit from his entire life that was like fucking with him super bad. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Yeah, in 66, like you said, you could have a conversation with him. In 69, he could have been like, what do you think about the color purple? And he'd be like, you're all fucking slaves. It's like, oh my God, here we go. Like that crazy just like pop off could happen at any time, So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, fame and a shitload of booze will do that to you.
Yeah.
Like when he was just smoking weed and doing acid, he was fine.
Yeah.
As soon as he started drinking, that's when it went downhill. And just like a conversation between Jim Morrison and JFK, I would sell tickets to that. That would just be,
that'd be nuts.
And then throw Jimi Hendrix in there, just kind of sitting back being cool because that's what he does.
Yeah. That's wow. Yeah, I'm like really thinking about this now. I was like, man, there's like so many different ways that can go, especially with like some of the newer musicians now, because they'd obviously want to pick the brains of those people too. So it'd just be like one big ball of passion and curiosity.
Oh man, good times.
Yeah.
Let's see, where can we go next? I think we've covered everything on my list. Shit. So what do you guys have upcoming? I mean, release of the EP on the October 10th.
Yep. So we have October 10th, our debut self-titled EP is coming out on Slam Worldwide. It'll also be streaming online literally everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, all over the place, Amazon, Google Play. So that will be coming out. I do already have singles and like half of an LP written. So the singles, I'm not sure when they're gonna start dropping after we release the EP. It'll probably be, a few months, try and let the EP do its thing. But we record everything with Phil Piscata at Sonic Assault Studios. We'll actually be going out to him and recording with him in person for our LP, which we're really excited about. That will be sometime next year, probably next summer, I want to say. We have some music videos that are coming up. We're going to shoot with Austin Scherzberg. We're going to shoot one with Eric DiCarlo out in New Jersey. We're trying to set up a live stream. We also just caught word about the new Facebook thing. I'm not sure exactly what that entails. I've been trying to some of the wording is difficult for me. I'm piecing together words for me is kind of hard, especially when they're written in certain terms. So I've been trying to decipher that. I'm not sure if they're going to allow us to do live streams with our music or they're not because of copyright, which would be silly because it's our music. But so we're trying to figure that out. But we're trying to definitely do a live stream show so people can actually see us live virtually or whatever it may be. Just so we don't keep people waiting for too long. But it's pretty much it as of now. I mean, we have those kind of things planned out, and that will drag us into next year, if not next summer. So,
and then hopefully, depending on how things go, live shows at some point in the future.
we are hoping realistically, we're not expecting anything to happen until 2022, but hopefully things will happen before that. Once that happens, once we're able to get back to live shows safely, we are planning on hitting touring. It's not, we won't necessarily be doing so much of we're doing a random one-off here, a random one-off here. It's going to be we're either starting and ending in one state, which will probably be Minnesota or Wisconsin, and we're going to do, month-long tours. When I started this, it was we're going to be a business, we're going to be traveling, we're going to do this legitimately. It's not just, it's obviously our passion. We have fun with it and everything like that, but we set out to do this to make it our career. And despite all of the stuff that's going on with COVID, whatever, we're still kicking ass. We're still putting out music. We're still writing music. We're still pounding things as hard as we can possibly do. We're, like I said, we set out to do this the right way and make it succeed, and we're not stopping until that's a thing, and then some. So, yeah.
Awesome. Love the passion, man. That is. Again, if I were younger, I would probably have that passion. But once you get to your mid-40s, it's yeah, I'm good. but yeah, no, looking forward to everything you're doing, man. That should be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that is it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And yeah, if it ever gets around that you do play live shows and play in the city, I'll definitely be there.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, we'll definitely have it plastered all over our socials because we're kind of maniacs with that stuff.
Oh, please, splatter away. All right, man. It's good talking to you, and have a good day.
Yeah, you too.